Malik's fist connected with Jiho's jaw so hard the entire cafeteria gasped. Blood splattered across the white marble floor of Hanul Private Academy's dining hall as Jiho stumbled backward, crashing into a table that collapsed under his weight. Plates shattered. Girls screamed. But Malik wasn't done. He lunged forward, grabbed Jiho by his collar, and slammed him against the wall. "You kissed her," Malik snarled, his voice barely human. "You are my best friend, my brother, and you kissed her." Jiho's lip was split, blood dripping down his chin, but his eyes held no apology, only rage that matched Malik's own. "She wanted me to," Jiho spat back. "For the first time in her life, she chose me over you, and you can't handle it." Malik pulled back his fist for another punch when a voice cut through the chaos like a blade. "Stop! Both of you, stop!" Sarah stood in the cafeteria entrance, her dark skin flushed, her chest heaving, tears streaming down her face. She looked between the two boys who'd just destroyed their friendship over her, and her expression wasn't gratitude or flattery. It was pure devastation. "You want to know the truth?" Her voice cracked. "I didn't kiss him. He didn't kiss me. This whole thing is a lie." Malik's grip on Jiho loosened. "What? Everything you think happened last night? Everything you're fighting over? None of it happened." Sarah's hands were shaking. "But what happened is so much worse. And when you both find out what I've been hiding, you're going to wish this fight was the worst thing that ever happened between us." Security guards were rushing toward them. The headmaster was shouting. Students were recording everything on their phones. But Malik couldn't look away from Sarah's face, from the terror written across it. "What are you talking about?" Jiho demanded, wiping blood from his mouth. Sarah's next words came out barely above a whisper, but in the dead silence of that cafeteria, everyone heard them. "Before we start, smash that subscribe button right now and tell us where you're watching from, because what you're about to hear will absolutely destroy you." Malik was sprinting down the hallway of Hanul Private Academy, his Balenciaga sneakers squeaking against marble floors that probably cost more than most people's cars. He wasn't running because he was late. Malik was never late. He was running because he'd just seen something that made his blood turn to ice. Through the window of classroom 3A, he'd spotted Jiho leaning close to someone, smiling in a way Malik had never seen before. And that someone was her, the girl who'd walked into their lives 3 weeks ago and turned everything upside down. Malik burst through the door so hard it slammed against the wall. Every head turned. Jiho jumped back from the girl like he'd been caught committing a crime. The girl, Sarah, just raised one perfect eyebrow and looked at Malik like he was an annoying interruption to her. "Day." "We need to talk," Malik said, his voice tight. "Now." Jiho's face flushed red. "Malik, I'm in the middle of—" "I don't care what you're in the middle of. Outside. Now." The classroom had gone completely silent. Everyone knew Malik and Jiho were best friends. Everyone knew Malik didn't talk to Jiho like this. Ever. Sarah stood up, slinging her Chanel bag over her shoulder. Her skin was deep brown and flawless, her hair in neat box braids that fell to her waist, and she wore the school uniform like it was runway fashion. She walked past Malik without a glance. "This is boring. I'm going to the library." She left, taking all the oxygen in the room with her. Malik grabbed Jiho's arm and dragged him into the hallway. The moment they were alone, Malik's composure cracked. "What the hell was that?" Jiho pulled his arm free. "What was what? We were studying." "Studying? You were 2 inches from her face. So, what's your problem?" Malik's problem was that he'd been obsessed with Sarah since the moment she'd transferred to their school. The daughter of some American tech mogul who'd moved to Seoul for business, Sarah didn't just walk into rooms, she commanded them. She was brilliant, beautiful, and completely unimpressed by Malik's usual charm, which made him want her even more. "My problem," Malik said slowly, "is that you knew I liked her." Jiho's expression changed. Something cold and unfamiliar crossed his face. Actually, you never told me you liked her. You've barely mentioned her except to complain about how she ignores you." "Because she does ignore me. She acts like I don't exist." "Maybe because you treat everyone like they should be grateful you're breathing the same air as them." Jiho's voice was sharp now. "Sarah doesn't care about your family's money or your face or your basketball trophies. Maybe that's why you can't handle her." Malik felt like he'd been slapped. What's that supposed to mean? It means for the first time in your life, a girl chose someone else. She chose to study with me. She chose to eat lunch with me. She chose me, Malik, and you can't stand it. Before Malik could respond, their friend Junho appeared, looking panicked. "Guys, you need to see this. Now." They followed him to the student lounge where a crowd had gathered around someone's phone. The video playing made Malik's stomach drop. It was from last night. Sarah at a convenience store in Gangnam. The timestamp showed 2 a.m. She was putting items in her bag, looking around nervously, then walking out without paying. The caption read, "Rich girl thinks she's above the law. Someone should call her daddy." The video had already been viewed 10,000 times. Comments poured in. Most were vicious. Jiho's face went white. "This has to be fake. Sarah wouldn't..." But Malik was already walking away, pulling out his phone. Because he knew something Jiho didn't. He'd seen Sarah at that same convenience store 2 nights ago doing the exact same thing. He'd been following her, trying to work up the courage to talk to her when he'd witnessed it. At the time, he'd convinced himself he'd misunderstood what he saw. Now he knew the truth. Sarah was a thief, and Malik had a choice to make: tell everyone what he knew and destroy her, or stay silent and let her destroy herself. Let me take you back to where this all really started. 3 weeks earlier. Malik had been sitting in his usual spot in the cafeteria, surrounded by his usual crowd of admirers, when the headmaster had walked in with a girl who made everyone stop talking. She walked like she owned the place, her American accent crisp and clear when she introduced herself. "I'm Sarah Williams. I'm from New York. My father's company just opened an office here, so we'll be staying in Seoul for at least 2 years. Looking forward to getting to know you all." Simple. Confident, devastating. Malik had immediately decided he needed to know her. He'd approached her after assembly, turning on the charm that never failed. "Welcome to Hanul. I'm Malik. If you need someone to show you around..." "I don't," she'd said, not even looking at him as she checked her phone. "But thanks." She'd walked away, leaving Malik standing there like an idiot while people whispered and laughed. Nobody rejected Malik. Nobody. He'd tried again the next day, offered to help her with homework. She'd declined, asked if she wanted to sit with him at lunch. She'd said no, invited her to a party at his family's penthouse. She'd laughed and said she had better things to do. Every rejection made him more obsessed. Meanwhile, Jiho had been assigned as her buddy for her first week, meant to help her navigate the school. Malik hadn't thought anything of it at first. Jiho was quiet, studious, the complete opposite of the kind of guy someone like Sarah would be interested in. But then Malik started noticing things. The way Sarah actually smiled when Jiho explained something in class. The way she saved a seat for him in the library. The way she laughed at his jokes. Real, genuine laughter, not the polite, fake laugh she gave everyone else. And the worst part? Jiho was falling for her too. Malik could see it in the way his best friend's whole face lit up when Sarah walked into a room. The way Jiho started dressing better, standing straighter, speaking with more confidence. It was like watching someone steal something that belonged to him, even though Sarah had never been his to begin with. Now, standing in the hallway with that video playing on repeat in his mind, Malik had to decide. Was he the kind of person who would use this to win, or was he better than that? The answer came faster than he expected. He was absolutely that kind of person. Malik found Sarah in the library, exactly where he knew she'd be. She was alone, headphones in, working on what looked like an art project. She didn't notice him approach until he sat down across from her. She pulled out one earbud. "Can I help you?" "I saw the video." Her expression didn't change. What video? The one of you stealing from the convenience store, the one that's gone viral. That video. For just a second, something flickered in her eyes. Fear. Then it was gone, replaced by cold indifference. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, and I saw you do it 2 nights before that, too. I was there. Sarah's jaw tightened. So what? You're here to blackmail me? Threaten to tell my father unless I go out with you? That's pathetic even for you. Malik leaned forward. I'm here to offer you a deal. I don't make deals with people like you. People like me? Rich boys who think money and a pretty face mean they deserve whatever they want. She started packing up her things. Save your breath. I'm not interested. Not even if I can make that video disappear? That stopped her. She looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time since they'd met. You can do that? My family owns the largest tech company in South Korea. One phone call and that video never existed. He paused. But you have to do something for me first. And there it is. Sarah laughed bitterly. What do you want? A date? A kiss? For me to pretend to be your girlfriend so you can show me off to your friends? I want you to stay away from Jiho. The words surprised even him. He'd meant to ask her to go out with him, to give him a chance. But what came out was the truth. He wanted Jiho out of the picture. Sarah stared at him. You're insane. I'm serious. Stop studying with him. Stop eating lunch with him. Stop whatever this thing is that you two have going on. Do that, and I make your problem go away. And if I don't? Malik stood up. Then I make sure that video gets sent to your father, and the headmaster, and every university you might want to apply to. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person you really are. He walked away before she could respond, his heart pounding. He'd never threatened anyone like that before, never used his family's power to hurt someone. But when it came to Sarah, when it came to Jiho, he couldn't seem to control himself. That night, Malik couldn't sleep. He kept checking his phone, waiting for Sarah's response. It came at 3 a.m. Fine, I'll stay away from Jiho. Now delete the video. Malik made the call. By morning, the video was gone from every platform, scrubbed clean like it had never existed. He felt powerful, victorious. He felt like garbage. The next day at school, Jiho was confused when Sarah walked right past him without acknowledgement. He tried to talk to her after class, but she brushed him off. By lunch, he looked devastated. I don't understand, Jiho said to Malik as they sat in the cafeteria. Yesterday, everything was fine. We were planning to work on our history project together. Now she won't even look at me. What did I do wrong? Malik forced himself to shrug. Maybe she got bored. Girls like her get bored easily. Girls like her? What does that mean? Rich, privileged, used to people falling all over themselves for her attention. Once she had you hooked, the challenge was gone. Jiho's face crumpled. You really think that's all it was to her? Malik hated himself but pushed forward anyway. Probably. You're better off without her. But Jiho wasn't better off. Over the next week, Malik watched his best friend sink into depression. Jiho stopped eating, stopped sleeping. His grades, usually perfect, started slipping. He'd sit in class staring at the back of Sarah's head, confusion and hurt written all over his face. And Sarah? She looked just as miserable. The confident, vibrant girl who'd first walked into their school was gone. She moved through the halls like a ghost, her eyes empty. Malik told himself he'd done the right thing, that Jiho would get over it, that he could swoop in and comfort Sarah, show her that he was the one she should have chosen all along. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe because this story is about to get intense. 2 weeks after his deal with Sarah, Malik made his move. He found her after school sitting alone on the bleachers watching the soccer team practice. Can we talk? She didn't even glance at him. We have nothing to talk about. I know you're upset about Jiho. Upset? She finally looked at him, and the rage in her eyes made him step back. You blackmailed me. You forced me to cut off someone I actually cared about. And for what? So you could have me to yourself? Congratulations, Malik. You won. I'm all yours now." The sarcasm dripped from every word. "That's not what I wanted. I just what? Wanted to prove you could control me? Wanted to show that even someone like me could be bought?" She stood up. "Well, you were right. I had a price. But don't think for 1 second that means I'll ever actually be with you. You're nothing but a spoiled, selfish child who can't handle hearing the word no." She started to walk away. Malik grabbed her arm. "Let me go." "Not until you listen to me. I made a mistake, okay? I was jealous and stupid, and I'm sorry. Let me fix this. Let me talk to Jiho. Tell him it was my fault." "Don't you dare." Sarah yanked her arm free. "You've done enough damage. Jiho thinks I used him. He thinks I never cared. And maybe that's better. Maybe it's better for him to think I'm a heartless bitch than to know the truth, that I was forced to hurt him by someone who's supposed to be his best friend." "Sarah, please." "Stay away from me, Malik, and stay away from Jiho. You don't deserve either of us." She left him standing there, and for the first time in his life, Malik felt truly alone. That night, Malik's older brother, Sung Min, found him sitting on the balcony of their family's penthouse, staring at the Seoul skyline. "You look like someone died." "Worse. I ruined everything." Sung Min sat, down beside him. "Want to talk about it?" Malik told him everything. The blackmail, the deal, how he'd destroyed both Jiho's happiness and any chance he had with Sarah just because he couldn't handle not being chosen first. Sung Min was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "You know what the worst part of being rich is? We think we can buy anything. Loyalty, love, forgiveness. We think money solves every problem." He looked at Malik. "But some things can't be bought. And the sooner you learn that, the less you'll hurt the people who actually matter. How do I fix this? Tell the truth, all of it, to Jiho, to Sarah, and accept whatever consequences come." But Malik was a coward. Instead of confessing, he avoided both of them. He threw himself into basketball, staying late at practice, going to the gym at midnight, anything to not think about the mess he'd made. That's when things got worse. 3 days later, Malik's coach pulled him aside after practice. "We need to talk about your application to the youth national team." Malik's heart soared. He'd been working toward this his whole life. The youth national team was a direct path to professional basketball. "What about it?" "They want you, but there's a condition. They want you to transfer to their training academy in Busan, full-time, starting next month." Next month, which meant leaving Seoul, leaving his school, leaving Jiho, leaving Sarah. Malik's first thought was that maybe this was the answer. Maybe distance would fix everything. He could start over in Busan, leave this disaster behind. But that night, as he was packing his gym bag, he overheard his parents talking in the next room. "We need to tell him the truth about his father." Malik froze. His mother's voice was tight with emotion. "Not yet. He's not ready. He deserves to know, especially now that he might be moving to Busan." "Know what?" "That his father isn't actually his father, that I had an affair, that Malik isn't a real member of this family?" The world tilted. Malik grabbed the wall to steady himself. His father, the man he'd called Dad his entire life, wasn't his biological father. He was the product of an affair. Everything he thought he knew about his identity was a lie. Malik didn't confront them, didn't ask questions. He just walked out of the penthouse and kept walking until he ended up at the Han River. He sat on the bank staring at the water, his mind spinning. If he wasn't who he thought he was, then what was any of this for? The money, the status, the name that opened every door. None of it was really his. His phone buzzed. "Jiho? Where are you? Your mom called. She's worried." "Han River, east side." "Stay there. I'm coming." 30 minutes later, Jiho appeared, out of breath from running. He sat down beside Malik without asking questions, just being there the way he'd always been there. Finally, Malik spoke. I'm not who you think I am." "What do you mean?" And Malik told him everything. About overhearing his parents, about the affair, about being a lie wrapped in expensive clothes and false pretenses. Jiho listened quietly. When Malik finished, Jiho said, "You're still the same person you were an hour ago, the same person you've always been. Biology doesn't change that, doesn't it? Everything I am, everything I have, it's all based on a lie." "No, everything you have is based on luck. You got lucky being born into wealth. But who you are, that's all you. Your choices, your actions. And lately, your choices have been pretty terrible." Malik laughed despite everything. "Thanks for the honesty." "That's what best friends are for." Jiho paused. "There's something I need to tell you, too." Malik looked at him. "I know about you and Sarah. I know you made her stay away from me." Malik's blood turned to ice. "How?" "Junho told me. He heard you two talking in the library." Jiho's voice was calm, but Malik could hear the hurt underneath. "I've known for over a week." "Jiho, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was jealous and stupid and I know, I've been angry about it. Really angry. I wanted to hate you." Jiho looked out at the river. "But then I realized something. You did it because you were scared. Scared of losing me to someone else. Scared of not being the most important person in someone's life for once. And I get that. Because I've spent my whole life in your shadow, and when Sarah chose me, it felt like finally I mattered more than you." The honesty cut deeper than any anger could have. "You've always mattered," Malik said quietly. "Not the way I wanted to. Not the way Sarah made me feel." Jiho stood up. "But here's the thing. You're still my best friend. You're still my brother, even when you're being an idiot. So I'm going to forgive you. But you have to fix this. You have to tell Sarah the truth and let her make her own choice. What if she chooses you? Then you let her. Because that's what people who actually love someone do. They choose their happiness over their own ego." Jiho left Malik sitting by the river with those words echoing in his head. The next morning, Malik found Sarah before class. She tried to walk past him, but he blocked her path. "I need to tell you something. The truth this time." "I'm not interested in anything you have to say." Jiho knows about the blackmail, about everything, and he forgave me even though I don't deserve it. Malik took a breath. "I'm leaving Seoul next month, moving to Busan for basketball. And before I go, I need you to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for manipulating you, for threatening you, for being the worst possible version of myself." Sarah's expression didn't change. "Is that supposed to make me feel better?" "No, it's supposed to make you free. I deleted the video like I promised. There are no more copies, no more threats. You can go back to Jiho if you want. You can tell him everything. I won't stop you." "Why? Why now?" "Because Jiho was right. If I actually cared about you, I'd want you to be happy, even if that happiness doesn't include me." Malik stepped aside. "I'm sorry, Sarah, for all of it." He walked away before she could respond. That afternoon, Malik watched from across the cafeteria as Sarah approached Jiho's table. They talked for a long time, Jiho's expression cycling from confusion to understanding to something that looked like hope. Then Sarah smiled, that real smile Malik had only seen her give Jiho, and they hugged. It hurt. God, it hurt. But it also felt right. Junho appeared beside Malik. "You did good. Doesn't feel like it. That's how you know it's the right thing. The right thing usually hurts." Over the next 2 weeks, Malik prepared to leave for Busan. Jiho and Sarah were officially together now, and watching them was bittersweet. But Malik kept his promise. He stayed supportive, stayed kind, stayed out of the way. The night before Malik was supposed to leave, all 3 of them went to their favorite restaurant. It was awkward at first, but eventually they fell into easy conversation. "I'm going to miss you," Jiho said. "You'll visit. Busan isn't that far." Sarah was quiet, picking at her food. Finally, she looked up at Malik. "Thank you for telling the truth, for letting us make our own choice." "I should have done it from the beginning." "Yeah, you should have, but you did it eventually. That counts for something." She paused. "I'm sorry, too, for what I said that day on the bleachers. You're not a spoiled child. You're someone who made mistakes and owned up to them. That takes courage." Malik felt something loosen in his chest. Maybe he couldn't have Sarah. Maybe he'd lost his chance. But he still had Jiho's friendship. He still had his integrity, battered as it was. That was worth something. But then everything changed. The morning Malik was supposed to leave for Busan, he got a phone call from his mother. "Don't go. Something's happened. Your father, your real father, he's here, in Seoul. He wants to meet you." Malik felt his world tilt again. "What? How does he even know about me?" "I told him, last week. I thought you deserved to know your biological family before you left." Her voice cracked. "Malik, there's more. He's sick, terminal cancer. He doesn't have much time." Malik sat down hard on his bed. "Who is he?" "His name is David Williams. He's American. He was working in Seoul 20 years ago when we met." "Williams. The same last name as Sarah." No, it couldn't be. "Mom, what was his daughter's name? Did he have a daughter?" "Yes. I think he mentioned her when we talked. Her name was Sarah." "Why? Malik, what's wrong?" The phone fell from Malik's hand. David Williams, Sarah's father, which meant Sarah was his half-sister. Malik ran. He didn't know where he was going, didn't care. He just ran until his lungs burned and his legs gave out. He ended up in an alley, doubled over, trying not to vomit. Jiho was dating his sister who he'd been obsessed with, his sister who he'd blackmailed and manipulated and thought he was in love with. Make sure to comment below because you need to process this with me. Malik's phone kept ringing. His mother, Sung Min. Eventually, Jiho. He answered that one. "Where are you? You were supposed to be on the train an hour ago. The academy is calling." "I can't go to Busan. I can't go anywhere. Jiho, I need you to come get me." 20 minutes later, Jiho found him still sitting in that alley. Malik looked up at his best friend, and the words spilled out. "Sarah is my sister, my half-sister. Her father is my biological father. Everything is ruined." Jiho's face went white. "Are you sure?" "The timeline matches. The last name. Everything." Malik laughed, and it sounded unhinged even to his own ears. "I was obsessed with my own sister. I threatened my own sister. I'm a monster." "You didn't know. Does that make it better? Does that change anything?" Jiho sat down beside him. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Then Jiho said, "We have to tell her." "No, absolutely not. This will destroy her. She deserves to know the truth. The truth will ruin her life. She'll never be able to look at me without remembering that we... Malik couldn't finish the sentence. "What's your alternative? Keep this secret forever? Watch from the sidelines while she builds a relationship with a father who's dying, never knowing she has a brother?" "Yes, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll go to Busan. I'll stay away. She never has to know." But fate had other plans. That evening, Sarah showed up at Malik's penthouse unannounced. Malik's mother answered the door, and the second she saw Sarah, her face went pale. "Oh my God, you look just like him, like David." Sarah looked confused. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" That's when Malik appeared in the doorway. "Sarah, you should leave." "Your mom just said I look like my dad. How does she know my dad?" Malik's mother started crying. "Malik, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know she was your friend. I didn't know." Sarah looked between them. "Someone needs to tell me what's going on, right now." Malik closed his eyes. When he opened them, he looked directly at Sarah and said the words that would change everything. "Your father is my biological father. We're siblings, half-siblings." The color drained from Sarah's face. She stepped backward, shaking her head. No, that's not possible. That's not... It's true. My mother had an affair with him 18 years ago. I just found out. I was going to leave. To never tell you, but... He gestured helplessly. Sarah's breathing was getting faster, more shallow. This whole time, you were obsessed with me. You blackmailed me. You threatened me. And we're related. I didn't know. Sarah, you have to believe me. I had no idea. But she wasn't listening. She was backing toward the door, her eyes wide with horror. I have to go. I have to leave. I can't... She turned and ran. Jiho, who'd been standing in the hallway this whole time, chased after her. Sarah, wait! Malik tried to follow, but his mother grabbed his arm. Let her go. She needs time. I ruined her life. I ruined everything. His mother pulled him into a hug as he finally broke down completely. For 3 days, Sarah didn't come to school. Her phone was off. Even Jiho couldn't reach her. Malik was going insane with worry and guilt. Finally, on the 4th day, she appeared. But she wasn't alone. Her father was with her. David Williams looked exactly like Malik expected. Same dark eyes, same smile, same presence that filled a room. Except he was thin, obviously sick, the cancer eating away at him. The headmaster called Malik to the office. When he walked in, Sarah and her father were there, along with Malik's mother. David stood up when Malik entered. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Then David smiled. You look like me, that's... Wow, that's something. Malik didn't know what to say. David turned to Sarah. Should I give you 2 a minute? Sarah nodded. David and Malik's mother left the office. The second they were alone, Malik started apologizing. Sarah, I'm so sorry. For everything. For not knowing. For all of it. I understand if you never want to see me again. Stop. Just stop talking. Sarah's voice was tired. I've spent the last 3 days processing this. Talking to my dad. Talking to therapists. And I've realized something. You're not the villain here. You're just as much a victim of this situation as I am. That's generous of you. It's not generosity. It's survival. If I spend the rest of my life being angry at you for something neither of us knew about, it'll destroy me. And our father is dying. We don't have time for anger. The word "our" hit Malik like a physical blow. He wants to meet you properly, Sarah continued, to spend time with you, to know you before. She couldn't finish. What about Jiho? What about you and him? Sarah looked away. I love him. I really do. But how can I be with him now? Every time he looks at you, he'll remember what you almost did, what you thought about me. And every time I look at you, I'll remember the same thing. It's too complicated. So you're going to break up with him because of me? Again? I'm going to break up with him because it's the right thing to do. Because the 3 of us can't move forward if I'm standing in the middle. She met his eyes. But I want you in my life, Malik, as my brother. Not as whatever twisted thing we almost were, but as family. Can you do that? Malik nodded, not trusting his voice. Over the next 2 months, everything shifted. Malik delayed going to Busan to spend time with David. They went to museums, restaurants, basketball games. David told stories about Malik's biological grandparents, about his heritage, about the man Malik could have been if circumstances had been different. And slowly, painfully, Malik and Sarah built a new relationship. Sibling movie nights, arguing over the TV remote, Sarah stealing his hoodies, normal sibling things that should have felt wrong but somehow felt right. Jiho struggled. He'd lost Sarah again, this time for good, and no amount of explanation made it hurt less. The 3 of them couldn't hang out together without it being awkward. Jiho tried to be supportive, tried to be happy for them, but Malik could see the pain behind his eyes. One night, Jiho came to Malik's room. I can't do this anymore. Do what? Pretend like I'm okay with all of this. Pretend like it doesn't kill me to see you and Sarah together, even as siblings. Pretend like I'm not angry at the universe for being this cruel. Malik sat up. I know, I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. I'm not looking for apologies. I'm looking for... Jiho's voice cracked. I don't know what I'm looking for. A different ending. A world where things worked out differently. Me too. They sat in silence. Then Jiho said something that surprised both of them. I'm leaving Seoul, going to study abroad. England, maybe. My parents have been pushing me to do it for years, and I think it's time. You can't leave, not because of this. I'm not leaving because of this. I'm leaving because I need to figure out who I am when I'm not standing in your shadow, when I'm not the guy who almost got the girl but didn't, when I'm just me. Malik understood. It still hurt, but he understood. 2 weeks later, Jiho left for London. They promised to stay in touch, to video call, but both of them knew things would never be the same. David's condition worsened. He had maybe 6 months left. Malik spent every free moment with him, trying to cram 18 years of missed memories into 6 months. One afternoon, David took Malik and Sarah to a photography studio. I want a picture of my kids, together, something I can take with me. They posed, Malik and Sarah standing side by side, trying to smile. But when Malik looked at the final photo, he saw something that made his chest ache. They looked like family, real family, like they'd always belonged together. If you've made it this far, drop a comment and subscribe. 5 months into Malik's time with David, the inevitable happened. David collapsed at breakfast. They rushed him to the hospital. He lasted 3 more days, slipping in and out of consciousness. On the last day, David called both his children to his bedside. I need to tell you something, both of you. His voice was weak but clear. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I left Seoul when I found out about Malik because I was scared, because I was a coward. I missed 18 years of your life, son, and I can never get that back. Malik held his father's hand, tears streaming down his face. But the universe gave me a gift. It gave me these last few months with both of you. It let me see you together, see you becoming family, and I need you to promise me something. Promise me you'll take care of each other. Promise me you won't let my mistakes define your relationship. We promise, Sarah said, crying just as hard as Malik. David smiled. Good. That's good. He looked at Malik. And son, I need you to forgive yourself for everything. You didn't know. You were just a kid trying to navigate impossible situations. Let yourself be free of that guilt. I don't know how. You will. Trust me. David's breathing was getting shallower. I love you both so much. Never forget that. Those were his last words. The funeral was massive. David had touched hundreds of lives through his work, his charity, his kindness. But Malik and Sarah stood together through all of it, holding each other up, being the family David had wanted them to be. After the funeral, Sarah's mother pulled Malik aside. I know this situation has been complicated, painful even, but I want you to know that you're part of this family now, officially. Whatever you need, whatever you want, we're here. Malik thanked her, but inside, he felt hollow. He had a family now, yes, but he'd lost his best friend in the process. Jiho was thousands of miles away, building a new life, barely responding to messages. Malik went to Busan finally, 3 months later than planned. The basketball academy was everything he'd dreamed of. Intense training, world-class coaches, a direct path to professional sports. He threw himself into it completely, using the physical exhaustion to avoid thinking about everything he'd lost. 6 months passed, then a year. Malik rarely came back to Seoul. When he did, he'd spend time with Sarah, with his mother, with Sung-min. But something was always missing. Then one night, Malik got a video call from an unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him click accept. Jiho's face appeared on screen. He looked different, older, more confident. His hair was styled differently, and he was wearing clothes that actually fit him properly instead of the oversized hoodies he used to hide in. Hey, Jiho said. Hey yourself, it's been a while. 14 months, but who's counting? They laughed awkwardly. I'm sorry, Jiho said, for disappearing, for not staying in better touch. I needed space to figure things out, but I took too much of it. You don't have to apologize. I get it. No, I do, because you're my best friend, Malik, and I let my hurt feelings get in the way of that. Jiho paused. I'm coming back to Seoul next month. My program is finished, and I got accepted to SNU for university. We could see each other again, if you want. Malik felt something unlock in his chest. I want that. I really want that. They talked for 3 hours that night, about London, about basketball, about the weird, complicated family situation that had become their normal, and for the first time in over a year, Malik felt like maybe things could be okay. But life had one more twist waiting. The week before Jiho was supposed to return, Malik got a call from Sarah. I need to tell you something, and you're going to be mad. What did you do? I've been talking to Jiho for months. We reconnected online and... She took a breath. I still love him, and he still loves me, and we want to try again. Malik's first instinct was anger, then protectiveness. Then he remembered David's words. Let yourself be free. Are you happy? What? When you talk to him, when you think about being with him, are you happy? Yes, incredibly happy. Then that's all that matters. You're not angry? I'm working on not being angry about things I can't control. Jiho is a good guy, the best guy, and you deserve to be happy. Malik smiled. Plus, now he's officially going to be my brother-in-law someday. That's kind of perfect. Sarah laughed through her tears. I love you, you know that. Love you too, sis. When Jiho returned to Seoul the following month, the three of them met at their old coffee shop. It was awkward at first, the weight of everything they'd been through hanging heavy between them. Then Junho showed up completely unannounced and broke the tension by demanding they fill him in on every single thing he'd missed. Let me get this straight, Junho said after they'd explained everything. Sarah is your sister. You were obsessed with your sister. Jiho is dating your sister, and now you're all okay with this? When you say it like that, it sounds insane, Malik said. That's because it is insane. This is literally a drama plot. They all laughed, and just like that, some of the heaviness lifted. Over the next year, they built something new. Malik visited from Blasian every few weeks. Jiho and Sarah dated, this time without secrets or manipulation. Junho kept them all grounded with his sarcastic commentary. They celebrated birthdays together, studied together during breaks, went to Malik's basketball games, and cheered until they lost their voices. It wasn't perfect. There were still awkward moments, still painful reminders of everything that had happened. But they were family, real family, the kind you choose and fight for and refuse to give up on. On the 2-year anniversary of David's death, Malik, Sarah, and their mothers all visited his grave together. They brought flowers, told stories, cried a little. As they were leaving, Sarah linked her arm through Malik's. Dad would be proud of us, of what we built. You think? I know. We took something broken and made it beautiful. Malik looked back at the grave one more time. Thanks, Dad, for everything, even the complicated parts. 3 years after David's death, Malik was playing professional basketball. Jiho had graduated university top of his class and was working at a tech startup. Sarah had started her own non-profit helping underprivileged kids get access to education. They were all at Malik's penthouse for a celebration dinner. Malik's mother had cooked. Sungmin had brought wine. Even Junho had flown in from his job in Singapore. As they sat around the table, laughing and arguing and being the chaotic family they'd become, Malik looked around and felt overwhelming gratitude. He'd made terrible mistakes, had hurt people he loved, had almost destroyed everything. But he'd also learned, grown, become someone his father, both fathers, could be proud of. Jiho raised his glass. I want to make a toast to David for bringing us all together in the most insane way possible, and to Malik for finally learning that some things can't be bought or controlled or manipulated. They have to be earned. Everyone raised their glasses. Malik stood up. And I want to make a toast too, to second chances, to forgiveness, to the family we choose, and to the people who love us even when we're at our worst. They clinked glasses, and in that moment, everything felt exactly right, because some stories don't end with the perfect romantic couple riding into the sunset. Some stories end with broken people finding their way back to each other, with siblings discovering they're stronger together, with friends becoming family, and sometimes the greatest love story isn't romantic at all. It's the love of people who choose each other day after day, despite everything. That's the real happy ending. Make sure to subscribe and comment below which part of this story hit you hardest. Like and share this story so lots of people can see and connect. And remember, no matter how badly you mess up, no matter how broken things seem, there's always a path to redemption, always a chance to become better. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story.